Today, it's Madden NFL football. It's Week 14 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Miami Dolphins.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. At a glance here at their quarterback, standing 6'3".
And if you go by the numbers, he's had a Pro Bowl type season, and maybe that's even selling him a little bit short. He's the NFL leader in touchdown passes to this point in the year, and with the end of the season not too far away, he's got his guys playing at a very high level.
Throwing, Cook. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A great effort there. With touchdown number 27, that ties Priest Holmes for the third most in a single year. And the Dolphins are going to take a first quarter lead.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now, you can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
The extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Taking it about the 1. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. And they will be led out by their 6'6" quarterback.
And the tendency for most of these guys is to want to match things right away because they have a lot of confidence in their talent too. They just saw a big strike against their team, and you know they're thinking to themselves, I can get this back right now on one play. Well, if it's there, you take it, but otherwise, just go ahead and calm your team down. Run the offense, get things going, and see how things settle in.
On first down, Clemens. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. It'll be a loss of 10, and it'll bring up second.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Throw left side complete. That's Turner. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play, and that'll bring up fourth down. The Seahawks send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. What we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position number 1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. the prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It might mean...
He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. A big play there with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the second most in a single year. And the Dolphins strike quickly here for 6 points. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra-quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play resulting in the touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Clemens. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25. This defense for the Dolphins, they were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
Yeah, they held them completely out of the end zone, just held them to a field goal, so they're not just hoping for a repeat here. They're hoping to do it even better. A shutout is their goal.
Now a throw here to his running back. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 16 carries, 69 yards.
Well, watching the film, we saw that things clicked pretty well for them in the running game last week. No reason to change in my mind. Continue to try and run the football, give it to them early and often in hopes of breaking down the defense so some bigger gains result as the game goes on.
So 2 first downs, and that moves the ball to the 42 now, 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Clemens. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. The CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Now Cook. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had it and dropped it. That is an unforced error there, and it takes away what could have been a touchdown.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
And he'll go down at the 28. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Well, partner, this offense 12-0 now on the year following their latest victory. And during the week, a lot of folks making comparisons between this squad and the 1985 Bears. You know, they too were 12-0 at this juncture of the season before losing on a Monday night, 38-24 to the Dolphins at the Orange Bowl way back on December 2nd of 85. But then they never lose again en route to winning Super Bowl 20.
And when you look back on it, partner, didn't it almost feel like a setup game? Because they were playing the Dolphins, and the Dolphins were protecting their franchise's undefeated season of 1972, that team. And you know what that team does. They love to celebrate the fact that they still are the only one.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there. His 21st touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 21-0. A drive there of just 4 plays, and it was finished by the touchdown run from the 15.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. Taking it about the 1. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Out comes the Seattle offense. We take a peek at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC.
And as we take a look at the playoff picture, certainly still a lot of jostling to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting these last few weeks.
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
This first quarter, let's just be frank, it's been a disaster so far offensively.
Yeah, already down multiple scores, and it doesn't appear they can get out of their own way right now.
To throw on second down, Clemens looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Harvey. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Getting this into the hands of Turner. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that.
Brandon, it certainly looked like they had that play defended well, but it still almost worked. Got it to the running back. He wound up getting really good yardage out of it, but it was 3rd and long, and they were able to rally and stop him before he could get to the marker.
8 yards on the return following a punt of 41. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Miami set to take over.
And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Throwing on 1st down, Cook. He finds his man, complete. It's Schmidt, and he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in the defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard for them to pivot back, and you end up getting the 1st down.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Sure didn't take this offense long to get within striking distance of the end zone. 2 plays.
Feel the energy? You can just feel it, can't you? Because they are creating it on offense. The way they're running the football. Now they've swept into the red zone. Momentum all on their side.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3.
41 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Dolphins add on to their lead. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it's stealing it, it's scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
Extra point splits the uprights, and a rout is on here in this first half.
So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. They'll start with the option. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Clemens. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
On 3rd down, Clemens had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Taken from just outside the 30.
A nice return that time of about 14 yards.
And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's been a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him because they're creating spaces and holes.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. That one is... back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack.
Back quite a ways here, facing 2nd and 19.
Well executed there on 2nd down, so do you go back to the air on 3rd?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in long-distance situation. You might come back again because I doubt they believe you'll do it a 2nd time.
Now Cook on 3rd down. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Snags it for the pick.
And the Seahawks are going to take... Possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll run with Scott. Bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And this is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score, and a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower postgame. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes this 35-0 now. So plenty of fireworks here early. 35-0 now as the kick is away. Taken at about the 1. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter, finished with over 300 yards on the night, later ended up in the NFL. If you've got a talented back, give it back to him. This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
To throw on second down, Clemens. And he is going to go down. He will be sacked on the final play of this first quarter. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And the safety there, another mistake, and these mistakes just keep piling up.
How many more can they make? They put themselves in such a massive hole now. Going to be difficult to dig out from under.
Yeah, for sure they can't afford anymore at this point. And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. Fielded at the 33.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the...
He's got it at the 15. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A big play there. With touchdown number 29, too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31.
And the Dolphins continue to pull away here this first half.
Extra point right down the middle. And the route is on here in this first half. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense just going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up fourth down. The Seahawks send out their punter, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He'll look to set up his blockers. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now a handoff here to his running back. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line.
62 yards rushing for him, as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
And this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
From the gun, they'll try to run it.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's in for the score. And his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
Well, I'll say one thing, Charles. You're getting really good practice here in breaking down touchdowns. What did you see there?
Well, the same thing I've seen over and over and over in this first half. My scintillating analysis, Brandon, this offense is absolutely taking no prisoners.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the route is on here in this first half. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
But, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back.
And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after.
Just a gain of a couple there. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. From the gun, Clemens. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I want to wait until the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
Oh, good footwork on the spin. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside, and so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
And power running here down to the 6-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to bull his way into the end zone for the Dolphins score. A great play there with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Dolphins have got it on cruise control. This is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it? Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3 already for him. Point after, right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25.
Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown.
So this defense doubling its pleasure there. Remember, they had the fumble return for a score earlier in the game, and now this time an interception return for another score.
Point after here coming up. And the route is on here in this first half. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line.
Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks and no touchdown passes yet either.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again. Clemens. He finds his man. Complete. It's Robertson. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
It looked like almost a miscommunication defensively, because once he decided to keep it, he had pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, it became a question of, wait a minute, who's got the quarterback? And when you talk about miscommunication, it's supposed to be called assignment football on the defensive side of the ball, but the assignment gets mixed up. That's the end result.
On 1st and 10, Clemens. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that is incomplete. Earlier in the quarter when the defense was keying on the run, you said offensively they need to open things up, take some shots downfield. Didn't work there, but they did it.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune now. I still think it's the right play because when you take those shots downfield, you open the eyes of the defense to what you could do.
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. He is proving his worth defensively. Getting the sack here, that comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. The Seahawks send out their punter as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Give them 11 yards that time on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just given him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it because...
Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. It's a big play there for Miami. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. A great effort there. On his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point forthcoming. And the route is on here in this first half. Well, it wasn't a one-play drive, but I think they'll take it. The scoring summary, 2 plays and into the end zone. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. I think this crowd not really sure what to make of things. You know, their guys have not looked very good. Their leader here at the top, he hasn't looked that great either.
And most of the time you hear guys talk about how they don't let the crowd affect.
In trouble, and he's taken down. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack.
He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
This time they stay on the ground, and they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout? The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. The Seahawks send out their punter, standing just outside his own goal line. Now a fair catch signaled for and made right about the 43-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with decent starting field position, there may be only a couple completions away from field goal range. Here's Cook on first down. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. A big play there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Dolphins will extend their lead here just before halftime.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point.
Maybe time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything.
And he's going to lose yardage, not that it matters, as the final seconds tick away. So we've reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Dolphins taking a lead to the locker room as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. Next, we head off to check out another game. And they trail in that one as it's the visiting Jags who are out in front. The Jags seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And they were winners in that one as they defeat the visiting Tennessee Titans. The Egyptians are still saying, we want to be a part of this playoff race as they up their record to 8-5 with an important win. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
The Seahawks trailing, but they will have possession first here as we resume action in the third quarter.
And we will not see a return to start the half as this will be a touchback.
Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And what would you say? Is it the offensive line that has caused a lot of this?
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. Looking to throw on second down. Clemens, he finds his man, complete. That's Harvey. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
That's trash. Mine's 54. Mine's 54. Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up.
Operating from the gun. Clemens. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 36. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead will swell by one more. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Seattle again getting ready to take over offensively. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, Clemens. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on first down to set him back on second. He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage, well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
Now here's a throw that's complete. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. Back to throw. Clemens. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 40. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. So now to... They're going to accept the penalty, which means take away the interception. Also means keep your defense on the field. Don't understand this one bit. A bad time for a roughing penalty, and they get the gift of a 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Clemens. And incomplete. The passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Squeeze, double, double. Go.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on it before he could get much out of it.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down. The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
Miami's offense set and ready to go.
And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
105 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. And he'll give it here to his running back.
And he'll have a Dolphins first down as he's got this up to the 40-yard line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
3 down, 3 down. Hey, check. 3 down.
And they give this time to the tailback. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
A handoff as they run the counter play. A little juke. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10.
This has been a good drive so far, and it's been the running game for the most part that's powered them down there. Another nice burst there, picking up a first down. Now it's 1st and 10, as you said, in the red zone.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there. His 25th touchdown, tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on.
Partner, this running back's having a heck of a day on the ground. He just keeps punching it in and rushing for touchdown after touchdown.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. A drive that time of 6 plays. And in the end, the Rushing touch, an 11-yard run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
When teams have a tough time running the ball, as this one has throughout this game, it's so easy to just say, forget it, let's throw the football. But that's exactly why you stay with the running game. Eventually, you stick with it, you make some adjustments, you often find ways to run the ball better as the game goes on.
And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter, it's a good running back dive play.
A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. To throw on third down, Clemens. And that is incomplete.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best.
Miami set to take over.
And last time out, another touchdown. I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear
That is
by the
one
time we have to
positive.
leave the booth.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
76 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And down inside the 15 he goes.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Now a handoff here to his running back. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
From the 9, second and 5.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
It looks like a jumbo set with 3 tight ends here for first and goal.
They'll try to run this one in. And he is into the end zone, and the touchdown record is now all his.
So they brought the extra bulk in down on the 1-yard line, and they're able to push this one across.
Yeah, I can just see your face right now because I know we're mind melding on this one. Coach Madden would love this. Power football, hat on a hat, chest to chest, driving forward, touchdown.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will extend this big lead. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
This taken in at the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as these guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. And we will get another look at Seattle's offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about your...
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Looking to throw. Clemens. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 38. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown.
That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by one more. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Taking it about the 1. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20. Call it the 21. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick six put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them.
Come to my work. We want it. Come to my work. Let's go.
Throwing after the interception. Clemens. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in.
Well, this game.
And now the red flag out on the field. We'll have a challenge forthcoming. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So that challenge, a successful one.
I can't believe they even let you play.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line.
2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
Back to throw. Clemens. And now here is another interception. Picked off at the 22. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six and a Dolphins touchdown.
Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick six makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or two.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
Extra point right down the middle, and that will extend this big lead. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Seahawks take back over.
And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It all comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out at me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right?
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Looking to throw. Clemens. And a throw there going to be incomplete. The Seahawks send out their punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards.
The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. Going to give this time to the tailback. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does? It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key 1st downs and big runs.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got a 2nd and goal now as they look to add a few more points here onto their total. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. you better be ready to play and match their firepower.
The call is to go for one and kick the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Taking it about the 1. And able to get this out to the 25.
And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching.
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
To throw on second down, Clemens. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball, because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. The Seahawks send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here.
And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4.
Good starting field position for the Dolphins as they have it 1st and 10 at their own 46. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Second down and 8.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's taken down at the 50 after a short gain of 2.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And a great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the 1st. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice and ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Dolphins, the streak lives as they move to 13-0 now on the year. And they'll get another road date next week. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they can ill afford to drop too many more as they fall to 7-6 on the year. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.